the June 23rd marked the premiere of, or premiere or debut, one of them, of Dark Girls 2. And one of the reasons why that was on my radar, it was on the OWN channel, by the way. Yeah, Oprah, I still love you. My play mama, Dr. Chris, author, was featured fairly prominently on that show. And that also happens to be AC's mother. So we were really excited to see what was going to happen from there. And y'all, I was floored. I saw Dark Girls 1. I also saw Light Girls, though I haven't seen it all the way through because it triggered me really bad. More on that later. But I saw Dark Girls 1. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. I don't think anybody enjoyed it because it's a really delicate topic. But Dark Girls 2 was so well shot. You could see the evolution of the team that was working on the documentary formatting from 1 to 2. And essentially what Dark Girls and Light Girls are dealing with is an issue called colorism. If you've never heard of colorism, you need to go and look it up because it's a big deal. It's a big deal, not just for African Americans. This is really a global situation. So one fast way to get yourself up on the subject matter is to go on the OWN app. You can watch all 3 of those movies for free, all 3 of those documentaries for free right now on the OWN app. Colorism is a very real thing. And what happened with me and AC in our conversations, I had an awakening moment. And this is very relevant for a lot of the race discussions that are going on right now, the race, equity, inequity discussions. As an African-American woman who has never questioned her blackness, in that I am a black person, I have always struggled with white people who don't understand the nature of white privilege. And it's a problem for me because I really do think it's important for us to try to empathize with people who are different from us so we can get to a place where we can all figure out how to have a common language. We may not all like each other, but we can respect each other and one another's differences. That is something that is core to my belief philosophy, right? But when it comes to understanding why it is that white people can't see their privilege, regardless of where they are on the income structure or strata, I've always kind of had a block. And AC just kind of made it real for me the other day. When we were talking, she said, well, if you want to try to understand the privilege, the way that white people feel when they get attacked for not understanding their privilege, she said, lean into your privilege. You're a light-skinned black woman. And I sat back and I went, what privilege? And she said, well, because, you know, AC is a beautiful dark-skinned black woman. Beautiful. And she said, well, we came to this understanding of, in our families, color privilege was simply not a thing because we did not allow it to be a thing. Lighter skinned members of my family did not get treated differently than the darker skinned people in my family. We simply did not permit that mess in our homes, in our families. If somebody did get the air, they got checked really quick because that's your family. But in the outside world, I have to acknowledge that, yes, people who sit in positions of power do grade the standards of beauty and acceptance according to skin tone. And I'm also going to say it's stupid as hell. It's dumb. It's dumb, but the more European your features, the lighter your skin, the greater your presumed privilege is. With white being the pinnacle, white and blonde being the pinnacle, and dark with nappy hair, and I say that lovingly, kinky, curly, coily hair being the other end of the spectrum. White good, black bad. It's stupid. But I cannot walk in ignorance and pretend like it doesn't exist. It does exist. So AC helped me to understand. I needed to make sure people understood I know it exists. But where it is problematic for me is that, and I realize I have some triggers. The worst hurt I have had in my life that I felt was unjust and unfair was not at the hands of white people. It was at the hands of darker skinned Black people who rejected my belonging to their circle because they viewed me and wanted to categorize me as the enemy, as the other, because of something I can't control. I was born into this. The worst hurt I've ever had in my life has been from dark-skinned Black women who didn't even give me a chance to be friendly with them. But AC also helped me understand that part of the reason why I was able to survive those experiences, some of them emotional, some of them physical assaults, was because no one does that unless they themselves have been hurt already. Mm-hmm. And the best thing that I could do to not keep that cycle going was to forgive them and to not hurt back at people because of that, to empathize, to pray, not to stay in that abusive situation. I don't fool with people who just decide that they can't deal with me because I'm a light-skinned girl and because I think I'm better than them. No, I don't think I'm better than you. But if you think that I think I'm better than you, that's your issue, not mine. I know I don't go around saying that I'm better than you. And that movie that series, going back and reflecting on that, has really put me in a place because it gave me a framework. I'm a sociologist, y'all. It gave me a framework. Finally, I can kind of understand I think I can understand better how some well-meaning white people, allies, can be frustrated when they're told you're a racist because they're white, not because of their behavior, because they're white. Mm-hmm. Because I have been told you're not Black because I'm light-skinned.
And see, in my family, we have different hues, and it's brought up jokingly, because I remember when we buried my granny, her cousin did her eulogy. And so our coping mechanism whenever we were sad is to crack funnies. And humor. I think he got tired of the family just sitting there crying the whole time. So by the time he got to the pulpit, he was just like, okay, y'all got to get it together. And so he talked about when my grandmother was born, and he was like, my great grandma, he was like, Lizzie, he was like, we were trying to figure out where she brought this little white baby home, because my great grandmother was dark hue, and my grandmother, my skin complexion, maybe even lighter. And they was like, where did this little high yellow baby come from? So that was the running joke. So for us, it was always said jokingly. We're kind of the branch of the family that's the high yellow branch, because my grandmother's brothers and sisters were darker hue, or whatnot. I guess I never was really affected by it. I mean, even I was told, being a little high yellow baby, coming up from on my dad's side, because but I was like, well, my auntie high yellow too. I'm like, why am I called out? And sometimes we do it, sometimes it's of ill intent.
Yep.
And sometimes it's not. It's just people just like to bring up the fact that you the little high yellow baby. So I've heard that terminology all my life. I mean, that's how my great grandma remembers me. When I used to come visit her, she was like, oh, there go my high yellow baby. That's what her nickname for me was, her high yellow baby. Like,
and the language is encoded and it's internalized, and some people can handle it and not have ill effects. I think other people, it does have some real ill effects sometimes. I mean, think about it like this. When you think about, we're going to go into the sorority world. If you think about what an AKA looks like, straight off, what's your first image? Be honest.
I go back to school days. I think about the Jigaboos, and I forgot what Tisha Campbell little group was. I mean, if you're not immersed in Greek life and you're just looking at it from the outside world, your reference would probably go straight to school days.
The good and bad one is light skin, good hair, which means straight flowing in the wind, light eyes if at all possible, and skinty. Okay?
Right.
The stereotypical thing that comes to mind immediately when you think about Delta Sigma Theta, be honest, dark skinned, shapely, probably wearing natural hair or a head wrap, right? And she the get down sister, like she don't take no mess. AKAs are considered stereotypically to be prissy and think they're better than other people, all this other kind of stuff. We ain't gonna get into the other ones right now. I'm just gonna speak to the two that I'm closest to right now. And it's wrong, because if you look at any of our chapters, you see women all across the spectrum, right? But that wasn't always the case, because if you go back and you look at the pictures, you see it was a real thing. So colorism, we can act like it's not real, but it is a very, very real thing. And it can be detrimental to a lot of people. There are women walking around broken right now, thinking that they don't have their own claim to beauty and value because of colorism.
That's true. And it's like, and from your story, you had the dark-skinned girls who were mean to you, and I'm quite sure that was a defense mechanism, because they had some light-skinned girl treat them like crap. And it's just like, I love the narrative now of women saying, you do not mess up your crown fixing another woman's crown. Like, exactly. Whenever any of our friends are having a bad day, the trigger word that we need to know that, okay, you need us, is that all you have to say in the text message, I need my crown adjusted. And that was my inspiration for the ad. You didn't see it. The promo for the day, you should see me in my crown. Billie Eilish, thank you for that one. So that's just, that's how we know. And folks like, you didn't see the promo today, y'all. I am not a morning person, so I slept up to right before we needed to start this thing. Lean back into your phone again, because what the motion you just did put you back in the tinny voice. Oh goodness, am I back? Move your phone. Don't move yourself. Move your phone again. I think your speakers. Yes, there. Okay. Your speaker's getting obscured, I think, when you move. Some kind of way. Keep going, you good. Anywho, but that's our way of letting folks know, that's the code. Like, I need my crown adjusted. And I think now more than ever, this new generation is understanding what that means. Whatnot. I know growing up, I was very much I have introverted and extroverted moments. Now, I don't gravitate to people quickly because I kind of watch you. But I remember growing up, like, you can see how some folks would treat the darker skinned girls, or if you wasn't skinny, if you was big, and I was just like, okay, y'all doing too much. And a lot of people, like you said, took stock in it, like, cause at that point they couldn't see past the fact that you're going to meet other people who are going to uplift you, who are not going to care what you look like. Like, they literally genuinely want to know you for you. But did you ever watch the Black Lady Sketch Show? Yes. You remember the skit they did with Angela Bassett, where they had the bad club? It makes me think about that, like the standards of beauty that we have within our culture. I remember the first time I went natural, my uncle asked me, was I having a life crisis? I was like, no, that perm is like burning I would literally have wounds on my scalp because you can't scratch it before a perm, but sure enough, if that itch is there, I was like, I need my head not to feel like it's on fire or whatnot. So no, I didn't have a life crisis. I needed my head to heal.